Good afternoon, everyone. It is 2 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Kathleen Taylor with the Florida Virtual Campus, and we want to welcome all of you to our last lightning round of the week, which is part of Florida Virtual Campus's month-long series for online teaching and learning excellence. Our lightning rounds, if you haven't joined us for any others, they really are intentionally designed to be short sessions that are going to equip you with maybe some new ideas and strategies that you can possibly put into practice at your institution. So today we're going to learn about UDOIT. It is a free open source tool that can help faculty and instructional designers find and fix accessibility barriers in online course content. And I know that is top of mind for all of us, particularly with the new DOJ regulations taking effect next year. I'm pleased to introduce Morgan Busch. Morgan is an applications programmer in the Learning Systems and Technology office at the University of Central Florida. He has a broad array of professional experience in K-12 and higher education, as well as the private sector. So Morgan, take it away. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kathleen. I appreciate it. Very happy to be here. As Kathleen said, I work at the University of Central Florida on their Learning Systems and Technology team. We develop a lot of different applications for faculty and staff across the university. And the product we'll be talking about today is UDOIT. Um, Again, as Kathleen mentioned, UDOIT is an open source application. It is free software, free to download, free to use. Um, and the whole purpose of the software is to help instructors find and fix accessibility issues in their course content. Um, we currently integrate directly with Canvas, which is the learning management system we use here at UCF. And that means that the application is available directly inside of Canvas for instructors to be able to access just with a quick link, right underneath their other course content. They can click the You Do It link. And then when they're in You Do It and make a change, those changes can be saved directly to Canvas without ever leaving You Do It. So they don't have to go and find the issue and edit it inside the content editing tools inside of Canvas. They can just do it there. Um, it is our 10th anniversary. You Do It was first um, released about 10 years ago. But we are making some major changes in the next couple of months that we're very excited about, and I'll be explaining some of those as well as um, where things are going and able to demo the tool in its new state as opposed to what it's been for the last 10 years. The biggest change that we're making is underneath the hood of You Do It, there is a scanning tool. For the last 10 years, we've been using something called PHP Ally. That is a very robust tool that is able to find all sorts of accessibility issues, but it is not well supported and hasn't been updated in quite a while. And there's better tools that are available now. We tested out a whole lot of them, and in our in-house testing, we found that in the 16 different files that we tested, with all sorts of different accessibilities errors in them from different courses, from different types of issues, PHP Ally was able to find and identify 117, and in the same set, Equal Access found 199, including virtually all of the PHP Ally ones, as well as a whole lot of other things that it wasn't able to detect and didn't even have tests to check for. So with the new accessibility rules going into effect, for universities of a very large size, especially public institutions, we're required to be fully accessible by April of next year. And smaller institutions have an extra year, so April of 2027. But this is going to be able to help people find and fix a lot more things than was previously possible. The scanner is also more nuanced. So previously in You Do It, if you've used it before, we were able to have issues as well as suggestions. But IBM is able to break it down into issues, potential issues, and suggestions, where issues are definitely problems we're going to need to fix. Potential issues, they look a little suspicious, but if the scanner's not able to tell, instead of just discarding it and you just don't have any notification, now it can say, we think this is an issue, please review it, as well as suggestions to make things more accessible, even though they're not necessarily required. under the new guidelines from the ADA. We're also, this is the big part we're going to be demoing today, is there's a brand new user experience. We've rebuilt the entire app from the ground up as far as a user is concerned, to make it easier to use, quicker to get to where you need to go, and much more intuitive feedback. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Um, the big emphasis is, instead of just overwhelming you with hundreds and hundreds of things you're supposed to do, the goal is just to make consistent progress every day, um, treating it more like a process, which it should be, as opposed to a very, very large homework assignment. Um, the biggest change that we're excited about is improved error context. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but over on this lower screenshot, the current version of UDOIT has a very small window where it shows the specific element that is problematic and might have some accessibility barriers with it, but you don't know how that fits in with the context of the whole screen. We're now capable of rendering the entire page of content from Canvas and then highlight the error inside of that so you can see exactly where it is and what the students would see when they're confronted with that issue. Um, Now, for the future, those previous two issues we're hoping to launch in the next month. We're pretty much done with most of that, but we've talked with our LMS team, and they're nervous about launching a major update to anything during finals and the beginning of spring semester. So we'll be launching this at UCF in May. But over the course of the summer, our next big task is to expand availability as well as accessibility. So we are currently only available in Canvas, and it doesn't communicate with any other learning management systems. However, the three that we're going to be attacking head on this summer are Blackboard, Brightspace, and Moodle. Um, and those three learning management systems will be fully supported. They already support LTI configuration, but all of the under the hood code to make it be able to talk and update pages and update courses, coursework, and things like that need to be reworked for each learning management system to be compatible. And we'll be working on that to make sure the tool is available for others. Because it's an open source tool, if there are other learning management systems that people really want, um, to be available. We're hoping to get some community support for some of those, although we're absolutely in a prime position if there's enough demand to go ahead and add that support ourselves as well if we need to. Um, and the last thing that we're building currently is a standalone desktop app. Um, Currently, even though UDOIT is a free software, in order to make it work, you need to upload the software to a server in the cloud somewhere, whichever, AWS or Azure or Google Cloud. And then you have to have it connected to your learning management system. And there's a lot of setup as well as maintenance that needs to happen for those servers to be up and running and have UDOIT work. So, at this point, it's probably good to mention we had a lot of questions at a previous presentation. Most people, when they hear of UDOIT, they immediately think of City Labs, which is a private vendor. They have an office here in Orlando, and City Labs does a lot of hosting for this. So they have a UDOIT product that they offer, and their whole business model, at least for that, is they will set up all the servers, they'll set up all the hosting, they'll make sure it's updated, they'll make sure it's maintained. And so you don't have to have the in-house expertise to do that to make it work. What we hope to do is have a lot of smaller institutions, community colleges, even K-12 schools or rural schools that don't necessarily have that cloud expertise and would normally have to go through an outside vendor like City Labs or others, that they can use this standalone desktop app that they'd be able to connect, just download the app for free and then connect on their personal computer to their Canvas or Blackboard or D2L instance and be able to do the exact same things they can currently do right inside of Canvas. Um, just like the app that we currently have, the standalone app will also be completely free, completely open source. And currently, we're building it to be compatible for Windows, Mac, and Linux systems. So hopefully, that will make UDOIT as far as a tool to help instructors and institutions make course content accessible. This will hopefully open up that option to give them a free and available option to do just that. Um, I'm going to go ahead and stop the share for a second on the slideshow, and we'll just go ahead and show the tool as it is. So let me get out of it for a second. So I am in a development version of Canvas. So for those who are familiar, we've just got all of our course stuff here, but you can put you do it. We have a whole bunch. This is our dev server, so I'm sorry if all these other links are distracting, but we can just have a link for you do it here. So right next to assignments and discussions and grades, I can just click on the link to you do it, and it pops up inside of Canvas. Again, we're on a dev instance, so I'm going to get some warnings that you wouldn't normally see. So again, I apologize for some live demo on an alpha build instructions that are possibly making this awkward. Let's see if it's going to actually launch, because of course on a live demo, it's nervous, it's getting stage fright. So let's try one more time. Just refresh the screen. Checking my local build here. Oh, it's going. There we go. All right. So when you do it launches, the welcome screen now is just right here. And here are the three things you do it does. It helps you find accessibility barriers quickly. It helps you fix them. And it helps you report steady progress with easy reporting tools. And the scan is already done for this particular course. With much larger courses, sometimes the scan takes a little longer, but we'll go ahead and get started. Here is the welcome screen. As you can see, we have three different types of errors. We have issues, and we have potential issues, and we have suggestions, as well as helpful text that tells you what that actually means. Um, Something we're very proud of with our design on this particular version is that there is a lot of just-in-time instruction, and we'll see more of that as we go. Let's say I want to fix some issues, so I'll just click here. And here's the fix issues screen. I've got a list of all sorts of issues. Again, there's some development text here when we haven't linked it all together just yet. But there is a particular error of links should contain descriptive text. So if I click on this one, um, something that happens surprisingly often in Canvas is if you make a link and you have some text, and then you go into that text and hit backspace a few times, and you think you delete it, you've deleted all the text, but it doesn't actually delete that link. And so you sometimes have these floating links with no text inside them. It happens with headers and all sorts of other things as well, where Canvas is just waiting for you to type a letter and replace it. But if you never do, you just have this empty thing. So we could say that we're going to give the link some text for the link, and we could also just delete it. But either way, we can see exactly where this shows up in the course and why we might want to get rid of it because it's no longer being used. So in that case, we could just hit save if we wanted to delete the link, and or we can just type in some text for it. Um, Another issue that is very common, if I can spell it, is color contrast. So if we have some color contrast here, this is a really bad example. There is some text hidden inside this red. The background color and the text color are the same. So we have a tool to just kind of, let's see, I'm going to lighten up the background color, and I'll darken the text color. And then finally, we have a valid contrast ratio that should be visible in high contrast screens or in bad light. We also have a little color picker where you can kind of just say, maybe I'll just make the text black and I'll make the background uh, really, really close to white, just this little yellow. And then we can hit save and it'll save that particular thing with some better color contrast. Again, what we're really proud of is that every given error, you can click learn more about this accessibility barrier and get a little blurb that teaches you what the problem is, who it affects, and a couple of best practices to help you avoid this kind of problem in the future, as well as links to external sources um, that are official or very close to official, and long-term accessibility experts that are respected in the community, like WebAIM. Um, so let's see. Let's do one more. Oh goodness. Alt text is a big thing. Image alt redundant. There we go. Um, so in this case, there's a really odd little error where you do have alt text, which we can now visualize as well. So if there's some invisible things like certain kinds of accessibility labels and alt text, it will show underneath the element what that alt text is, so you can actually know what you're changing and tell you exactly what the kind of problem is that you're having and why it needs to be fixed. This one isn't linked yet to our form. Let's see if I can find one that is. Um, oh, let's see. Oh, there we go. So, oh gosh, but the form's not okay. Alpha build. I'm sorry. So it'll look really great in 2 weeks once we click all the forms together. So I can type in new alt text here, and then we can see again kind of what a person using a screen reader would hear when they hit this with this image. I can, call it um, you know, image of empty picture. Right. And you can kind of get a preview for what that's going to look like. Again, you can hit save and it's going to save that alt text to the thing. So let's see. I think there was one more thing. Oh, yes. The other thing I wanted to show really quick was the reporting tool. Um, on the reports, oh, this is not very enlightening here. Um, but what you can see is you can see over time as you've used this tool in this course, how many issues, how many potential issues, and how many suggestions there are and have been fixed. This course I haven't fixed any because I save it for demos just like this one. But you can also see exactly which issues you've been having and how many of them of each issue type. So if I just want to sort by here it's by default sorted by the total number of issues, but I can sort by active, which in this case is pretty much the same. And it shows the most common issue I have is having a unique landmark name. That's going to be linked to a form. This one actually has instructions should not rely on shape, size, or location. Data tables should have headers, all these kinds of things. So there's a whole bunch of rules. I got 7 pages worth of rules that have been, uh, you know, broken at one point or another. Um, let's see. I'm trying to think if there's something else. Oh, and then also a history. This is very important. So for instance, we can see how much content has been fixed and resolved by scanning date so that we can show steady progress. One of the chief problems with accessibility complaints is lack of evidence that anything's been done. And so, if your faculty have been using the tool and have been making steady progress, even if not everything is perfectly accessible yet, if they can show good faith effort with this history, which you can export or print, then you'll be able to easily demonstrate that yes, we've been making strides toward accessibility and we are working currently on the current kinds of complaints and that kind of thing. Um, Gosh, so this has been a slightly weird demo because again, we're on the alpha build that doesn't have all the features in it just yet, and so you've had a lot of weird text, but we're very excited to show the new layout and how that's going to work. Um, at this point, I've almost hit my time goal for now. Are there any questions that we'd like to jump into or anything that you'd like to ask about?
So Morgan, we see a question in the Q&A from Kathy, and she asks, the UDOIT update will show in Canvas in May. And that's a question, I guess is, the update show in Canvas in May?
If you work at UCF, the answer is absolutely, because we will be updating our own instance so that if you just click the same link for UDOIT that you've had in Canvas in the past, it'll just take you and the software will show up with the new software and you'll be fine. If you're working at a different institution that is using UDOIT, it doesn't have an auto update or auto installer. So whoever your LMS admin or the UDOIT admin is will have to install the new software. We are updating the the GitHub code repository with all the new stuff as well as instructions on how to install. So it should be a fairly seamless experience, we hope. But it will be available as early as May for anyone. And at UCF, we're in charge of when it gets installed. So we'll be putting it in probably mid-May, depending on how nervous our LMS admins are.
Thanks, Morgan. We have another question in the chat. How soon will it be ready for Moodle?
Great question. Our goal is to have all learning management systems supported by the fall. So our goal is by the end of the summer that the next update. So again, we have the big update with the new user experience and the new scanning tool will be only Canvas ready when it launches in May. And then all our big summer project is to do Moodle, Blackboard, and D2L. API links and hookins and functionality and stuff like that. So our goal is by beginning of fall semester, and that should hopefully give other institutions 2 full semesters to use the tool before the ADA deadline.
And so this is going to conclude our lightning round. Again, thanks very much to Morgan and to all of you for taking the time out. We'll be back again next Tuesday and hope to see you then. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.